So, welcome to Beauty of Colors podcast, Brigham. It's great to
hmm
have you on the show.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Really excited for our conversation today.
So, Brigham, tell the listeners about you and what is your story?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much first for having me on and the opportunity to share my story. I'm going to start my story kind of in the middle. I first got interested in being an entrepreneur in high school. My brother and I, we started this little t-shirt business and we didn't sell very many of them, but that got my desire up to go and learn how to earn and make money. And fast forward, I started developing a huge interest in leadership, in personal development and professional development. I did a handful of different things that led me to the path of wanting to be a teacher. And I served a mission for my church for a couple of years. I went to Taiwan, which absolutely beautiful opportunity to share the gospel with people. When I came back, I had this beautiful language of Mandarin Chinese that I wanted to share with more people. And I just decided I wanted to go and be a teacher. And I was like, well, that's not really being an entrepreneur, but I'm going to start it out. And then I did that for a handful of years. And for the first four years, I was like, man, this is awesome. I love it. It's connecting with students. And then had a wake up call. You ever had one of those moments where you feel like, yeah, this is a very different experience than I originally thought. So I had a scare. My wife, she got this goiter, and we thought she had thyroid cancer. After we went through the process and found out that it was benign, it kind of shook me awake to say, I need to make sure that I can take care of myself and my family, and running a business of my own is something that I needed to learn how to do. And I just felt that call. So in 2019, I really dove in about May 2019 into learning how to invest in real estate, learning how to become an entrepreneur. And that was the start of my journey. It made me want to not only add value to people's lives, but to be able to do it in a way that was legal, ethical, and moral, and make a massive impact on this world. So I started out in the short-term rental industry. If you're like familiar with like Airbnb type of properties, so I've got a handful of those now. I've managed 9 rentals since I started. I started with one and just started getting more and more of them until I have them now. And this last year, I started my own podcast. It's called Levelin Up with Brigham, Blackham, and I absolutely love interviewing other people and connecting and finding those patterns of progress, and then being able to say, oh, if this works for them, I wonder if it could work for you. And opening people's eyes to what's possible in business. And I feel like my superpower now is being a mass connector of great people to great ideas. And I love how stories can connect people, how they can bring us together. And I'm just really excited to dive in a little bit deeper with you, Cleanne, and share some more insights and some inspiration, and hopefully build some value for your guests.
Sounds good. So, tell us a little bit about your online training. I know you said that you did, you went, is it Thailand or Taiwan?
Taiwan, yep, yep. I went to Taiwan.
You did some Mandarin, you learned Mandarin,
hmm
or
Yep, yeah.
what
Learned
exactly?
Mandarin Chinese, which was phenomenal, phenomenal language. I still speak. I teach it to my kids. I did that for 7 years. I taught Mandarin for 7 years in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and every single moment of being able to connect those ideas to a student's brain, you see the light bulb in their eyes just light up. Man, it's so much fun to see them light up. So if you said you wanted to learn a little bit more about like the online type of programs that
Yeah,
that
the
we have,
training, yeah, that you
yeah,
are.
happy to. Yeah,
Mhm.
happy to. So one of them is called the Genius in 21 Days program. So this is a way that you can create a method to learn how to learn. Because a lot of people, they've learned what to learn, and they've had society tell them, hey, you need to learn this or you need to know this. But very rarely do they teach you how to do it.
Mhm.
Very rarely do they teach you the methods to make it so you can have confidence in moving forward. So
Mhm.
that's one of the wonderful programs that I'm affiliated with. I love the program. It's actually created by a man named Cosimo Intimite,
Yeah.
and he's from Italy. He learned English in a few months using the program, and what we're doing is helping demystify the language and the way that you put together a learning model, because every single person has unique traits, unique ways that they can learn, and we want to help you be able to reprogram the language in your head, having the right skill set, tool set, and mindset, so that when you want to learn anything, you have the capacity to do so. So that's one of the great programs that I'm affiliated with. I've got a couple other ones too, but it really comes down to what type of resources do you need. So when someone like hires me as a coach or as a consultant, I'm not going to give them every single tip and trick that I have. I want to make sure I tailor it to figure out what is it that you want. Are you wanting to learn how to learn more effectively and build a model? That's the Genius in 21 Days program. Do you want to learn how to invest in real estate and to be able to lower your taxable income, but still make a whole lot more money, be able to grow a business? That's going to be talking with people in like Renatus. Like that's another great connection that I've got. And then I've got a wonderful program that is all about connecting people to amazing entrepreneurs. This is the holistic approach, and we call that one the Final Percent Network. So all three of these arms of my business have a way to help people, whether they want to improve in their personal life, their business life, their community, or in their vitality, in their health and wellness. So there's a little bit. I definitely am happy to answer any questions you have about any of those. But did that answer your question?
Yeah, so these are the three businesses that you have. So they're all connected.
Yeah, they're all interconnected because they're resources that I use, I love, and I'm an affiliate for all three of them in different ways. So I'm very grateful for the things that they've taught me. And anytime I can connect someone,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love to do. Because it's not fair for me to have an amazing product or service and not share it. So I
Okay.
want to connect more people to these amazing companies and be able to speak on other people's stages so that I can give them the very maximum amount of value that they can receive from me in my life. So
So
there you
how
go.
is the process of you getting into um the breakfast thing, the B and what's it called?
Airbnb and
Airbnb
short-term rentals.
breakfast. Yeah.
Excellent question.
What drove you into, I know you said from high
Mhm.
school that you're
Yeah,
always into entrepreneurship. What drove you into that aspect of it? Like you just wanted to do this.
for sure. So when I looked at all the different real estate strategies, I was told you need to just choose one. And I I did fix and flips. I did one fix and flip, made $22,500, and I was like, that was a great experience, but that was very stressful, and I don't know if I want to do it again. And I went and I looked at this other strategy, and it was short-term rentals. And I was like, I've hosted people at my house before. I actually have a great eye for design, and
Hmm.
I enjoy connecting with people. So I think that'll be the way that I go. And I said, I'm just going to do the first one. So my first year, I had one rental,
Hmm.
and in its first year, it was first probably $400 to $500 rent is what we were used to on that long term rental. And after the first year of doing it, it was a little over a grand a month that we made in profit. And I was like, I doubled the amount of profit we had on that unit just by switching the strategy and making sure that it was a safe, clean, affordable place for someone to come and stay. It's like, well, I'm hooked. I want to continually do this and find ways that I can expand my portfolio,
Hmm.
expand ways that I can connect and serve people. So I got the addiction of wanting to help people, and I wanted to lean into it. So that's really where it started, was that first rental. It was actually an idle asset. My parents had that property, and it wasn't one that was performing super well. So I said, "Can I try this?" When their previous tenant moved out, and they said, "Yeah, let's do this." And because it performed so well, I just kept it going for the last 5 years.
Oh,
So
that's right. Hmm.
yeah, everything I learned from the program, I was able to apply like systematically into my own portfolio. And I'm still pretty new at that. Like 5 years is not a massive amount of time, but I've been able to learn so much because I didn't have to make all of the mistakes myself. You learn from other people that are practitioners that
Hmm.
have been there, they've done that, they've done it for years or decades. It saves a lot of time. So I didn't have to go through the mud for the first little bit. I just said, oh, this is the type of things you use for sheets and for pillows and to communicate with guests, I'm just going to kind of copy and paste that and then alter it as I go to make it more mine. And that type of cut and paste simplicity in a business makes it so much easier to be successful.
Wow. So you said that you do have those three businesses.
Hmm.
Online, you have the online training. Do
Hmm.
you have like a set formula? As you said, they're all tailored differently to different people. Is there
Yeah,
like a formula that you use in order to help people um get to their goal?
absolutely. So first you want to ask people, what are they most passionate about? My favorite question whenever I meet someone, I'm gonna actually ask you, Cleanne, because this is a great question. You ready for it? Other than work and family, what are you most passionate about? I want
Being
you to really think about it. Go ahead.
being of value to others.
Being of value to others. So is it seeing them use the things that you are sharing with them, or what does being of value to others mean to you?
Being of value to others, what it means to me is helping others, being there for others,
Yeah.
using what I know, my knowledge, and sharing it with them. And that's kind of like, yeah, just being of value and helping people, making a difference.
Okay, so I hear making a difference. Your community, it sounds like that's the thing that you're most passionate about. Helping your community in any way you can. Help them to get to that next level. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only community, but
Yeah. Are you are you interested in helping someone that doesn't want to help themselves though?
well, the person have to want to help themselves. Like
Mm,
it's like somebody, because I'm a dietitian,
yeah.
um, it's like somebody wants to make changes in their food patterns, like in the nutrition. The
Mhm.
person have to want to make those changes. As a dietitian,
Yeah.
I can't force it on the person. The person has
Right.
to be in that stage where they want to make those changes. And that's one of the reasons why they do come to me to counsel, to do the counseling. So the person has to want to make that change.
Excellent. And when someone is really excited to make that change, you share a piece of value. You're like, hey, if you just adjust this in your diet and
Mhm.
you see them get results, how does that make you feel?
That's where the value comes. You feel good because you're helping somebody.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of go meta for a second. The reason I ask you these types of questions is so that I can understand what is it that drives you? What is it that matters to you? Now, whenever I start with a new client, I want to understand their drive, what they're passionate about. As soon as you understand their drive and they're passionate about one specific area of life, whether that's lifestyle, their community, understanding a specific system or admiration, or having proof that whatever the product is going to get them the benefits, the money. As soon as you identify that, then you can say, having worked together for a year or two, let's future pace for a second, what would make it absolutely worth it to say, it was a no-brainer. It was the best experience possible. What would have to happen financially, spiritually, mentally? And we can go through and break down, what does it look like? What is the results that they're looking for? And what does that look like? And as soon as you identify that, then you can put a plan together. Because if you don't know where you're going, I don't care how many different roadmaps you have, it doesn't matter, because it does it doesn't have a way to actually get there, because you have to know where you are and where you want to go.
Mhm.
Just like a GPS. If you don't have those 2 points of data, it's not going to be helpful to coach someone.
Mhm.
So for me, if I'm going to be talking with somebody, I want to make sure I know their passion. I know what they want to do. Because
Mhm.
if you think about this, if a salesman comes and talks to you and they don't know what you want, they just start saying, "Oh, we have this offer and this offer and this offer and this offer." All they're trying to do is sell you.
Mhm.
And people have a lot of objections to sales. So you have to figure out, what is it that people want. As soon as you understand what they want, what they're passionate about, what they truly feel is the most important thing for them, and you make them feel important because you listened, suddenly, if you have a resource you can connect them to, you're always going to stay connected to them, because they'll use that resource and get results. If they don't get results, they're not going to be happy about it. But if you share something and they get results, man, they're so thankful. And I love being a connector. And that's why I'm affiliated with all these amazing different companies. Because you think about it, as a dietitian, if you help someone either eliminate a food that hurts their stomach
Mm.
or their body, or come onto a food that gives them extra energy and vitality, doesn't that feel amazing to be able to say, I wasn't the one that changed your body, but because you listened to something I said, your experience in life and your results are drastically different than they used to be. Is that fair?
Yeah, the person would have to implement it and make the changes. So yeah. Mhm.
Mm, absolutely. So, did that answer your question?
Oh
If
yeah,
not, I can. I was okay.
yeah, you did. So tell the listener, how can the listeners connect with you? Where can they find your services, your website?
Absolutely,
Tell us a little bit about your podcast and kind of like a nutshell.
for
A
sure.
little bit about your podcast. Yeah.
Well, let's start with my podcast. My podcast is called Levelin Up with Brigham Blackham. I'm happy to give you my YouTube channel is one of my favorite resources that I'm building out right now. I have over 400 videos that I've produced for people so that they can get some new results in their life. They can hear it. It's not just entertainment, right? It's actually edutainment,
Mhm.
education and entertainment at the same time. That's what I like to do. Share great stories and help people have breakthroughs because I truly believe that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That quote by Earl Nightingale is one of
Oh,
my guiding stars.
yep, I love him, Earl Nightingale.
And he's so good, right? He's amazing, Clan. I love connecting on his ideas. It's phenomenal. So when you are looking for Leveling Up, you can find it on Spotify, all those different places. I'm building out a website right now. It's called brigham.com. I'll get that up in the next couple months. But as of right now, my short-term rental business, that's called StayBnB, StayBnBee.com. I have rentals in Utah. But if you want to really connect with me, follow the podcast. Honestly, I share so much value on there. I connect with amazing top leaders in business and in real estate. We share amazing patterns of progress. And it's all about finding ways to help people get to that next level in their life, in their business, and in their vitality. It's huge. So that's probably the easiest way to find me. Go to my podcast, go to YouTube, and I just want to keep connected and find more and more value to give to you guys.
Wow. So do you have any
So there you go.
last words for the listeners about not giving up and going for their goals and their
Is it
dreams?
all right if I share I'm going to share a story with you if that's
Yeah,
all right. When
yeah.
I was a missionary
Mm-hmm.
in Taiwan, I used to go every single Monday. We had preparation day. We would get on our bikes and we would ride up the side of this mountain. Now I share this story because this experience and this idea fundamentally changed the way that I see adversity. And I think it's instructive for any business owner, for any person that wants to deal with challenges. And I want to make sure that this visual is in your head. So, as a missionary, I would go and I would bike with my companions. We'd often bring people with us and we would go on this switchback mountain trail. It often took an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to the top. We had to cross rivers. Sometimes we had to pick up our bike and trot across some of those stones. We we had multiple times where it got slippery, got muddy, it was difficult. Had sometimes where people blew out their tires. And as we got all the way to the top of this mountain, after literally an hour or two, you saw that vista. You're like, wow, this is so worth it. You see
Mm-hmm.
that you smelt the pineapples because right at the top of the mountain are these pineapple fields. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the thing that impressed me the most from this was to get to the top of the mountain only took a few hours, but to get down, they, they had a paved road because they had all of these pineapple farmers that had to use their tricycles to get all the way up. They have these little tricycle tractors uh, with the backs there that made it so you could pick the pineapples and throw it right on there. But they had to have a really nice road from the bottom of there all the way to the top. So on a bicycle, going from the top of the mountain to the bottom, it was 1 or 2 minutes, maybe three.
Mm-hmm.
To get up, it took hours, and to go down took moments. In life, in business, you think about how easy it is to fall, to lose your reputation, to lose your momentum if you don't keep pedaling, if you don't pick up your bike sometimes and make progress, even if it's a small step, one pedal at a time. that is my message today. And I hope it'll help you guys think about the way that you are facing your adversity, your difficulties, because anytime that you look at the mountain of your life, your goals, there is a way through, around, over, so that you can get to the top of that pinnacle. But the road down, it is fast. And as an entrepreneur, it is your choice to keep going. You get knocked over, it's not a big deal. You stay up on your bike and you keep going. And that story has stayed with me for years, and it's absolutely changed the way that I think about adversity. And I hope it changes you in a way that allows you to feel that you don't have to give up when things get hard. Give in to God, give into your willingness to persevere. And when you have an opportunity to go for your goals, do it. You don't have to wait. You absolutely can do it. And if people say, it's not worth it, know it's worth it and keep going. So that's my final words. And I appreciate you, Cleanne, for having me on, man. What a pleasure.
It was great having you on the show.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next time.